It is Sunday afternoon, and this is a perfect time to continue working on the stained glass page that I started in this church book. So I have some things to do here. Now, as I was looking at this, I'm going, what do I want? I know that we are inside looking out, but do we want the church to be a part of the window, as somebody is using a church as an element in a stained glass? Or do we want the ironworks here and looking outside and we're seeing the church outside and in the distance? Now I think on this one I'm going to try some experiments. So my initial thought is the church is going to become part of the stained glass. I'm going to try some different things. You may have seen where I was drawing horizontal lines over here in the margins and kind of in between here. This church has wooden siding on it. So that's what I was mimicking in here. And I'm going to just take some white Americana Deco Art paint. And the first thing that I'm going to do is paint some white clapboard settings on here. That is what I'm going to do first, and then I'll come back and I'll work with a couple other things. I have some of this pearlizing medium, and I want to see how this will work on the sky just to make it look like a glass element here. So I'm not going to add this to any paint or any other medium. I just want to, maybe I'll just paint some of these clouds up here or paint this cloud up in here. And I want to see how this dries on the page. So those are the two things I'm going to do now. We'll see how that works, and then I'll come back and work on this some more. Forgot that I did not have a card in my camera, and it recorded to my phone and ran out of space, so I'm not sure how much you got of what I did here. But you can see just by painting in the white siding on that church, it has really blocked off the stained glass elements here. I'm still just getting a start. I did use this pearlized medium on the page, and I find it really interesting because you are looking at it top down. I'm looking through the camera screen. I'm not sure how much of this pearlization you are seeing from a top down. To me, it looks like it's blending in. It's dry now, and it looks like it's blended in very nice. But let me show you something. I'm going to take the camera off of the clamp here, and as I sit down, look how the light hits it differently here. Isn't that interesting? So this pearlescent medium is very much I want to say a holographic medium. And I just painted it directly on the page. Right here, I painted it right over my acrylic element. I painted it right on these clouds. So I think there's some paint up here because this is the top of the page, but here there was no paint. And as you look at it from a top down, you don't see much of that pearlescent, but as you look at it from a side view, when the light hits this differently, look at that, how it defines those shapes. Now I have a couple more things I want to try on this page. I'm not done with this area yet. I will go back in with my fine line paint applicator and add in and refine these shapes in here. I'm just getting a start with this experimenting. The next thing that I want to do, and you're going to see this is going to be kind of shaky, but the next thing I want to do on this page is take some paint, and I want to put it on my sheet of wax paper here. Paint an area. I'll probably go back up and paint maybe this cloud in here. I think I will. I paint this cloud, or maybe this cloud right here, or this cloud here in the center. But with the paint, what I want to do is directly in the paint, before I put it on the page, I want to mix some of this embossing powder right in the paint. And then after I painted my area, I want to come in with my heat gun and hit it and see how that embossing powder reacts when it's already mixed in the paint. I did take my phone off the little phone clamp up above because I want you to see this close up. This is my clear embossing medium mixed with white paint and embossed, heat embossed, and it is on there. It's on there good. My only concern is, will it chip away eventually? I was wary that the acrylic paint might not be enough to hold the embossing powder to the page, and it may chip away. But right now, it's on there really good. I mean, I can rub across this. It's very textured. It's more like sand than glass. I'm not sure that I like that because it's very opaque. I like the transparency of this a lot more. But this is how you learn. These are learning tools. This is why we have art journals. So just to make this page consistent, I'm not sure that I'll do this more on my pages. I wanted to see how it would work, but I don't want this to be the only place on this page where I do that. So I might do that up in here or bring it over to this cloud, do something to tie this technique across the page. But again, I'm not sure I'll do it on other pages unless I can work with it a little bit more to get transparency. This is clear embossing powder mixed in with white paint. I like the graininess of it. I like that. What would happen if I would mix some clear embossing powder in with some of this pearlized medium? This is the pearlized medium, and this is the embossing powder. Now we're getting a very, here, and if you look at it this way, top down, you don't see that pearlization as much as if you look at it this way. The light coming in from my window hits it in different ways. And this is just painted directly on the page. The medium, this medium is not mixed with any paint here. It's put directly over paint. But I think I am going to try one more experiment here, and that's mix some of the embossing powder directly into the medium and try it right, maybe up in here, and see if I can get a transparency that is not opaque, like I got very opaque clouds in here because I mixed my embossing powder with white craft paint. So let's try that other experiment and see what happens. This is the embossing powder mixed with the white paint. It's got a very opaque, flat look. It's very opaque. This is the embossing powder mixed with the pearlizing medium, and I will say that I really applied the heat to it. I love to watch that bubble up. I love that ripply texture that it gives. It may chip off. I was a little bit worried about it sticking to the page, so I did put some Yes Paste on there. I find that Yes Paste acts very nice as an embossing medium. Probably even better for these big, broad, flat areas than glycerin, because glycerin is oily and it runs and pools. You have a little bit more control with a glue like a Yes Paste. But I do like it, but it still is opaque in areas. Maybe not so much in here, but it's very opaque in there. So what I really like, though, is a layer of Yes Paste and the embossing powder applied right on it. This is clear, ultra-thick embossing powder, and this is the effect that I'm looking for, right in here. This looks like glass, and it almost looks like a blue glass, and I could probably even take my inks, my FW inks, and paint over this. I'll try that on another experiment. So this is the purpose of an art journal, to try different techniques. I've been playing a lot with embossing powders anyway. So I am going to end this in this video. I do like the white clapboard, just white paint to mimic the clapboard sidings of the church. I really do like that. I think the next time that I work on this page, I will do more of this technique to give this whole glass area a stained glass effect, like what I'm pointing at right in here. I like this. I'm a little bit concerned about it chipping off, but not as much as if it were glycerin. The Yes Paste may be enough to hold it to the page. We'll see. This is another experiment. It's beginning to take shape. I'm beginning to really, 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 really like this. We've still got several steps to go, so yes, there'll be some more videos on it. So thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next page.